Hi, everybody, and welcome back for another chapter of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj's I Am That. And today we will be looking at chapter 46, which I have already begun. So this gentleman is a physician. I don't know if that means anything to you, but so he asks, if the self is not the body nor the mind, can it exist without the body and the mind? And Nisargadatta says, yes, it can. It is a matter of actual experience that the self has being, independent of mind and body. It is being, awareness, bliss. Awareness of being is bliss. Awareness of being is bliss. It may be a matter of actual experience to you, but it is not my case. How can I come to the same experience? What practices to follow? What exercises to take up? To know that you are neither body nor mind, watch yourself steadily and live unaffected by your body and mind, completely aloof, as if you were dead. It means you have no vested interests, either in the body or in the mind. Dangerous. I am not asking you to commit suicide, nor can you. You can only kill the body. You cannot stop the mental process, nor can you put an end to the person you think you are. Just remain unaffected. This complete aloofness, unconcern with mind and body, is the best proof that at the core of your being, you are neither mind nor body. What happens to the body and the mind may not be within your power to change, but you can always put an end to your imagining yourself to be body and mind. Whatever happens, remind yourself that only your body and mind are affected, not yourself. The more earnest you are at remembering what needs to be remembered, the sooner will you be aware of yourself as you are. For memory will become experience. Earnestness reveals being. What is imagined and willed becomes actuality. Here lies the danger as well as the way out. Whatever is imagined and willed becomes actuality. So that's the danger and the way out. It's the good news and the bad news. Tell me, what steps have you taken to separate your real self, that in you which is changeless, from your body and mind? I am a medical man. I have studied a lot. I imposed on myself a strict discipline in the way of exercises and periodical fasts, and I am a vegetarian. But in the depth of your heart, what is it that you want? In the depth of your heart, Nisargadatta says, okay, you're doing all these things, you've made these changes, you're vegetarian, you have exercises, but what about at the depth of your heart? What's inside of your heart? What's your ultimate, truest intention? He says, I want to find reality. What price are you willing to pay for reality? Any price? And this is a good question for all of us. What price am I willing to pay for reality? Is there anything that's more important than reality? Keeping the body alive? Name, fame, prestige, power, pleasure? What are you willing to pay for reality? While in theory, I am ready to pay any price, in actual life, again and again, I am being prompted to behave in ways which come in between me and reality. Desire carries me away. I'm sure many of us can relate to that. Desire carries me away from my goal. Increase and widen your desires till nothing but reality can fulfill them. It is not desire that is wrong, but its narrowness and smallness. Desire is devotion. By all means, be devoted to the real, the infinite, the eternal heart of being. Transform desire into love. All you want is to be happy. All your desires, whatever they may be, are expressions of your longing for happiness. Basically, you wish yourself well. So simple, so true. Everybody basically is just wishing themselves well. Everybody wants to be happy. They may go about it in interesting and even painful ways, but that's what they want, is happiness. And some beautiful ways, of course. Desire is devotion. I love that. He says, just increase and widen your desires till nothing but reality can fulfill them. And that's why a lot of people come to spirituality at a later age, because they've tried everything throughout their lifetime to make themselves happy, to make themselves feel whole and complete. But nothing works. Nothing works. Nothing can be replaced by reality. I know that I should not wait. Who told you that you should not? What is wrong with wanting to be happy? What is wrong with wanting to be happy? Nisargadatta doesn't judge. He doesn't judge. He sees the nature of the mind. The mind, of course, again, is just consciousness. Maybe it gets perverted sometimes, misused, but he understands that at the heart of all human beings, basically, they just want to be happy, healthy, and well. The self must go, I know, but the self is there. Your desires are there. Your longing to be happy is there. Why? Because you love yourself. Because you love yourself. And because you love yourself, of course, you have desires and longing to be happy. By all means, love yourself. Wisely, that's the key word. Yes, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. Love yourself, love yourself. Just love yourself wisely. Love yourself wisely. Wisely. Love yourself in healthy ways, in kind ways, in good ways. What is wrong is to love yourself stupidly so as to make yourself suffer. Love yourself wisely. Both indulgence and austerity have the same purpose in view: to make you happy. Indulgence is the stupid way. Austerity is the wise way. What is austerity? Once you have gone through an experience, not to go through it again is austerity. To eschew the unnecessary is austerity. Not to anticipate pleasure or pain is austerity. Having things under control at all times is austerity. Desire by itself is not wrong. Desire is not wrong. It is life itself, the urge to grow in knowledge and experience. It is the choices you make that are wrong. To imagine that some little thing, food, sex, power, fame, to imagine that these little things will make you happy is to deceive yourself. Only something as vast and deep as your real self can make you truly and lastingly happy. Only something as vast and deep as your real self can make you truly and lastingly happy. Since there is nothing basically wrong in desire as an expression of love, of self, how should desire be managed? Live your life intelligently. Live your life intelligently. Live your life wisely, lovingly, and intelligently, with the interests of your deepest self always in mind. Do not betray that. Do not betray yourself, your heart of hearts. After all, what do you really want? Not perfection. You are already perfect. What you seek is to express in action what you are. For this, you have a body and a mind. Take them in hand and make them serve you. Who is the operator here? Who is to take the body, mind in hand? Good question. The purified mind is the faithful servant of the self. Great. The purified mind is the faithful servant of the self. It takes charge of the instruments, inner and outer, and makes them serve their purpose. In a sense, there are two minds. There's a functional mind, which is wonderful. The functional mind helps us to function in daily life, in our daily activities. It doesn't cause problems. It is a helpful tool. What causes us problems is the abstract, conceptual, psychological self, which gets mixed up with imagination, and then it causes and creates all kinds of problems and havoc and lies, ultimately, which cause us to suffer because we believe these stressful, untrue thoughts. So that's the mind that we're talking about dissolving in love. The purified mind, the functional mind, is great. It is the faithful servant of the self. It takes charge of the instruments, inner and outer, and makes them serve their purpose. And what is their surface? What is their purpose? Sorry. The self is universal, and its aims are universal. There is nothing personal about the self. Live an orderly life, and don't make it a goal by itself. It should be the starting point for high adventure, just to have a clean, simple, orderly life. Do you advise me to come to India repeatedly? If you are earnest, you don't need moving about. You are yourself wherever you are, and you create your own climate. Locomotion and transportation will not give you salvation. You are not the body, and dragging the body from place to place will take you nowhere. Your mind is free to roam the three worlds. Make full use of it. Your mind is free to roam the three worlds. Make full use of it. If I am free, why am I in a body? You are not in the body is in you. The mind is in you. They happen to you. They are there because you find them interesting and entertaining. Interesting and entertaining. Your very nature has the infinite capacity to enjoy. It is full of zest and affection. It sheds its radiance on all that comes within its focus of awareness, and nothing is excluded. It does not know evil nor ugliness. It hopes, it trusts, it loves. You people do not know how much you miss by not knowing your own true self. You are neither the body nor the mind, neither the fuel nor the fire. They appear and disappear according to their own laws. I love that. You people, you people do not know how much you miss. You're missing out by not knowing your own true self. It's so much more than this little, limited, imagined, conceptual, psychological self. Let go of this. Let this dissolve and awaken to the universal. That which you are, your true love, your true self, maybe your true love too. That which you are, your true self, you love it. And whatever you do for your own happiness. To find it, to know it, to cherish it is your basic urge. Since time immemorial, you loved yourself, but never wisely. Use your body and mind wisely in the service of the self, in the service of truth. That is all. Be true to your own self. Love yourself absolutely. Do not pretend that you love others as yourself. Unless you have realized them as one with yourself, you cannot love them. Don't pretend to be what you are not. Don't refuse to be what you are. Your love of others is the result of self-knowledge, self-realization, not its cause. Without self-realization, no virtue is genuine. When you know beyond all doubt that the same life flows through all that is, and you are that life, you will love all naturally, authentically, and spontaneously. When you realize the depth and fullness of your love of yourself, you know that every living being and the entire universe are included in your affection. But when you look at anything as separate from you, you cannot love it, for you are afraid of it. Alienation causes fear, and fear deepens alienation. It is a vicious circle. Only self-realization can break it. Go for it, resolutely. Strong final words from Nisargadatta. Go for it resolutely. Break that vicious circle. A great last paragraph. So the word that has jumped out for me in this chapter is wisely. Nisargadatta says there is nothing wrong with desire. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel embarrassed about any desires that arise within you. Remember, ultimately, you are not these desires and fears. These desires and fears are just creations of the false self. It's the false self's attempt to become happy. The false self says, oh, I'm afraid, I'm limited, I'm contracted. If I can just have some more food or some more sex or some more power or some more pleasure or some more prestige, this, that, and the other, something outside of myself, if I can just consume, I will feel whole. But guess what? That little fake individual pseudo self will never feel the fullness that the absolute, let's say, feels. Now, I'm positive that there are many human beings out there who really, really believe that they are a separate individual. I am positive that they are out there and they are happy. They are happy. They even feel a sense of wholeness, a sense of totality in a sense. And this is wonderful. This is what I would call healthy ego. For the human being, for the individual, there is something called a healthy self-esteem, a healthy ego, a healthy self-love. That's wonderful. So Nisargadatta and myself, of course, would never be saying that there's duality, right? It's not that you can't be the person. It's not that you have to love God, right? There's no force here. There's no force. There's no shame. There's no guilt. Not on this path. It wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense. All there is oneness. Everything is one. All is one. All is loving and lovable and affectionate and no other, no else. Only this pure being. So if desires and fears pop up, arise, no problem. Now, we may say it's not wise to act on these desires and fears. That's a different thing. But the appearance of desires and fears are just that. They're just appearing. They're just appearing. So let them come. Let them go. Let all the thoughts and feelings come and go. All the sensations come and go. The wisdom comes from the discernment, the knowing, should I choose this, though? Should I act on these desires or fears? Is it wise to live this way? So again, I think that's why it comes back to intelligence and wisdom. Try, as Nisargadatta has said, try to live a clean life, a sober life, a life without problems and drama and chaos. You can create the climate, he says. It's up to you, as much as you can, to create a nice environment, one that is open and conducive for peace of mind, for efficiency, just for having an efficient, clean, simple life. Now, when you have that, when you've created that, then you can go off and have adventure. And you don't have to worry because your foundation is stable. But if your home is a wreck, you're going to be nervous to go out and have adventure because you know that back home is a mess. And that can be the literal home or the symbolic home. So when you have your mind and body in a certain peace and a health and a semblance, then you can rest. And if your home is also clean, I don't know why I'm talking about this so much, but if you know that your home is clean and it's simple and ordinary in that sense, then you can have the extra stuff. The extra stuff's fine. He says you are free to roam. Your mind is free to roam all three worlds. Go for it. You are free to do whatever you want. You are freedom itself. It appears. But do it wisely. What is wise? That which leads to the reduction of suffering, that which leads to health and happiness and goodness and love and compassion and truth. My mother used to say when I was growing up, you can choose life or you can choose death. I used to drink. I used to smoke. I used to do a bunch of stuff. Wasn't very wise. Now I don't. So it's pretty simple in that sense. And we all know basically now what we should do. We know what is healthy living, what is clean living. And you don't have to, nor do you want to be obsessive about even clean living. I would never be somebody who says you must do this or you must do that, or no, don't exchange one extreme for another. Find that healthy balance, that middle way. Because again, once you have that wisdom and intelligence about food and diet and exercise and relationships, and it becomes easier and simpler. As Nisargadatta says, it just sort of appears and disappears, and you are the witness. You are the awareness. You can engage in life. You can be totally 100% human, and you can then just relax and melt back into the witness consciousness, the awareness, the beingness, the silence. Adyashanti says reality becomes more fluid. It's not I am this or I am that. It's just the fluidity of I amness. The fluidity of I amness. In every moment, And every moment, each moment is created anew. There's no past, no future, just the present moment here and now. And in this present moment, the fluidity of consciousness expresses itself as it needs to, as it wants to. Intelligence and creativity, responding to the moment, responding to that which is and that which is happening. And every moment's unique. Every moment is different. Every moment does not require or ask for the same thing to be present. So allow that fluidity, that flexibility of life. Let life live through you. Surrender to God. Thank you, Nisargadatta Maharaj. We made it all the way down to the next chapter. Maybe I should just keep going. Chapter 47. We'll see you again next time. Watch your mind. See you again. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Nisargadatta. Peace. Bye-bye.